Good morning, students. Welcome to today's class. Dear students, in our last class, we have done transitive and intransitive verbs, and we have gone through the rules and features and the uses. And we have also came to know that which verbs are transitive verbs and which are intransitive verbs. So, dear students, we have learned that a transitive verb is called a transitive verb when a sentence, or you can say the verb requires an object to clear the sense of the sentence. So, in a transitive verb, if we end the sentence with a verb without an object, the meaning does not make clear. So we have came to know that there is a subject and a verb and an object in a transitive verb. And we have learnt that the objects should be just after the verbs without the help of preposition or any other word. Articles could be there, then only it will be considered as an object for a transitive verb. And the object should be a noun or a pronoun. It should not be any other part of speech like adjective, adverb, or any other thing. If a preposition interferes between the verb and the object, it will be not considered as an object to clear the sense of the sentence. Today we will know that the object which is there with a transitive verb in a sentence may be a direct object or indirect object. As we all know that the object means thing. So if the object will be a thing, then it will be considered as direct object, and if the object will be a person, it will be called as indirect object. Okay, so as it is written on the board that if the object is a thing, it is direct, and if object is a person, it is indirect. Like as the example given, Ravi purchased a car. A car is the object here because it is written after the verb purchase. So Ravi is the subject here who is doing the work of purchasing a car. A car is a thing, so it is a direct object. Similarly, when we talk that Sohini helped the child, here Sohini is the subject who is doing the work of helping the child. So the child is a person, so the child will be called as indirect object. Sometimes it has been noticed that the sentence is possessing two objects. In a single sentence, there may be two objects. Like Mohit gifted his sister a dress. Here Mohit is the subject who is the doer, who is doing the work of gifting. Gifting means giving gift to his sister, and he has gifted a dress. Here gifted is the verb, and his sister and a dress both are objects. Since his sister is a person, so it will be indirect object, and a dress is a thing, so it will be called as direct object. Students, I hope you have understood the difference between direct and indirect objects. Here in your book on page number 24, there is an exercise given, that is underline the direct objects and circle the indirect objects in the sentences. Here you have to underline the direct objects and you have to circle the indirect objects, means the things you have to underline and the persons you have to circle. Here for your help, one example is given, so I hope you can do. Suppose it's a second one. Geeta promised her cousins ice cream. So Geeta has promised that she will treat her cousins with ice creams. So here her cousins is the indirect object, and ice creams will be direct object. So you will do till 8th number in your grammar copy as the instructions given. Dear students, we will learn one more thing about verbs, that is verbs of incomplete predication. As you can see on the board, when the intransitive verbs need more words to make the sentences meaningful, they are called verbs of incomplete predication. Like sometimes, as we have learnt, that intransitive verbs end with a verb, and without any object also they create a meaningful sentence. But sometimes if a sentence ends with a verb, we find that the sentence doesn't give complete sense. Like you can see the examples given, Jack seems or Mohini feels. In both the sentences, Jack is the Jack and Mohini, these two are the subjects, and seems and feels are verbs. And sometimes we feel Mohini feels or Jack seems, we say, but at the same time we feel that the sentence, the meaning of the sentence is not clear. So these kind of verbs will be called as verbs of incomplete predication. So in that case, we have to add some more word, a single word or more than one word, to clear the sense of the sentence. So if we complete the sentences as Jack seems sad or Mohini feels thrilled, then with the use of single words also, the sentence gives a complete sense. Both the sentences are giving a complete sense. So these underlined words which we have added now, that is sad and thrilled, will be called complements. Okay students, so if you see in your grammar book which is prescribed to you on page number 25, you can see that sometimes, as we have done here in the sentences, both sad and thrilled are adjectives. So here you can see in your book it is given that if you are adding words and if the word will be a noun, then it will be called as predicative noun, and if it will be an adjective, it will be predicative adjective. So the two words which we have joined just now, that is sad and thrilled, these both are adjectives, so these will be called as predicative adjectives. So here you see the jury declared the prisoner innocent. In this sentence, the transitive verb declared requires the complement innocent to complete its predication. Such a complement which describe the object is called object complement. Here, although we have just now done that in the case of intransitive verb, this kind of complements are used, but sometimes, suppose if we say this sentence simply, the jury declared the prisoner. Here a subject is also there, a verb is there, and an object is also there. So in that case, the verb should be a transitive verb. But if we simply say the jury declared the prisoner, the sentence does not give complete sense. The question may arise in our mind, the jury declared the prisoner innocent or guilty. So to make it clear, we have to add the jury declared the prisoner innocent. So in that case, when the complement is used for an object, because the word innocent is used for the prisoner, here the prisoner is the object and the jury is the subject. So when the word of complement is used for the object, the prisoner, it will be called as object complement. So dear students, I hope you have understood the verbs of incomplete predication. If you feel that somewhere you are missing, you will view the video again and again. If you listen to the lecture, and there are a few, 1 or 2 rules are given in your book also. the chapter on page number 25. You will go through it. Here again a very simple homework is there. Underline the complements in these sentences and write whether they are subject complements or object complements. As I told you just now, if the complement is used for the subject, it will be subject complement, and if it is used for the object, it will be object complement. So for subject complement you have to write SC, and for object complement you have to write OC. But in grammar copy, you will write all the sentences and then you will underline the complement first, and then beside that you will write SC or OC. Suppose the first one is given, the answer is given for you. The audience deemed the performance outstanding. Okay, this outstanding word is the complement, and it is used for the performance, not for the audience. So here the performance is the object, that is direct object. So you will write here object complement. Suppose the second sentence, the players nominated Naveen captain. Here the players is subject, nominated is verb, Naveen is object, and who was nominated captain? That is Naveen. So the word captain is used for Naveen, so it will be again object complement. Okay, I hope you will be able to do all the 8 sentences here given here in your grammar copy. I'll send you the PDF also of homeworks. I hope students you will do the homework. Kindly do all the assignments which are given to you. You will be only benefited because your teachers are not going to see your work and neither they are going to check. So you should be alert and you should be sincere in your work because you will be into trouble if you will not do your work properly. Okay students, I am going to wind up here. I am going to end my teaching here. I hope you will follow all the instructions given to you. Take care, stay safe. Thank you.